Welcome to the weekly portion of Zer Shimshon. It's Parshas Chukas, and this is the 8th day of Sivan, Tafshin Pei Aleph. And it's going to be a short one today because Baruch Hashem, we were celebrating this weekend my grandson's bar mitzvah, Elazar and Nisim, and we're going to dedicate this to a few people that are having trouble having babies. So I won't mention the names because I don't want to. I have them in mind, so I don't want to embarrass anybody. Okay, well, I'm in Parshas Chukas Zer Shimshon. Lohaya mayim le'eda. There wasn't water for the community. Pirush Rashi, but mikan shekol arboim shana haya lehem habe'er b'schus Miriam. From here we learned that all 40 years they had this water in the schus of Miriam at Tzadekis. Kasha, amai hutzach Rashi loimar shekol arbaim shana. Why did Rashi have to say all 40 years? The kitesa gadaiten shalahaya lahem be'er b'schus Miriam. And you think it would enter your mind that it wasn't in the merits of Miriam to have the water? El mixas meham, only partial years? Okay. He said, from here until there, we the whole time we had the water in the schos of Miriam. Okay, till she died. We can answer this with the Gemara in Bava Metzia Daf Pei Vav Amud Beis. It says there, Amrinin. It says, I'll read the whole thing. Pligi the Rab Chama, Rabbi Chanina, the Omar Rabbi Chama Bar Chanina. In the merit of 3 acts of hospitality that Avram Pravinu performed for the angels, his descendants merited 3 rewards. So that's what he means. B'schar chema v'chalav, in the merit of giving them curds, curds. I don't know if that's the correct translation. Let's try. Chema in modern Hebrew is butter. So butter and milk. So zachul man, they were privileged to get the manna. B'schar v'hu loimed alehem, in the merit that he was standing over them. In other words, like he towered over them and helped them, like a servant. Zachul amad ha'anon. So they were privileged to get the pillar of clouds in the desert. B'schar yukach no me'at mayim zachu lebe'era shel Miriam. In the merit of take a little water be fetched. Okay, they merited the well of Miriam. Okay, so he says, the Maharsha comments on this in Perek Kama the Ketainis and Daf Tes Amud Aleph. Isa, it's brought there, Shaman b'schus Moshe, Ober b'schus Miriam. There it says the man was in the merit of Moshe, and the Miriam had the schus of the Be'er. V'kan oimer shaya b'schus Avram. And here, in this Gemara, it's mashma that it was in the merit of Avram Avinu. The teretz, the Ramashah gives a teretz, the b'schus Avram lo hayu zoichem b'hem. In the merit of Avram, they wouldn't have been privileged to that water, only for a short time. But in the merits of Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, so it was drawn out 40 years. They got 40 years. They got fed and food and water and clouds to protect them. That's amazing. You could say just the opposite, actually. The Be'ezer Shimshon says, that only in the merit of Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, you could get it only temporarily. But together, gathered with the merit of Avraham, then they got it for 40 years. Therefore it says, it writes, Shemisas Miriam Dafka and Garma Shalahaya Mayim La'eda. That's why the death of Miriam caused that they should not have water for the nation. Zeo Shiramas Rashi Shalai Tamar Shahayol Ahem Be'er B'Schus Avram. That's why Rashi says, didn't say that the Be'er was in the merit of Avram. The whole 40 years was in the merit of Miriam when she was alive. Because from the merits of Avram, it would have been sufficient to get him the water for 1 hour. And here's the Segula. It's Hashem. Everybody should be have a especially refuah shalema for all those that need a refuah shalema. As Yidden who believe in Rabbeinu Shalom, it is obvious that He directs us to the precise spot where we need to be every second of our lives. Sometimes we understand that why we needed to be there, sometimes not. But there's mostly not. But there's no question that every move is orchestrated from above. A relative called Rabbi Yomin Pashkas on the 8th of Tammuz, and it's only this today, right? And related the following incident. If I said 7 before, I meant Tammuz. Oh yeah, I'm mixed up. Okay. I was up in the mountains on the 8th of Tammuz exactly 1 year ago, he began, and I went to a shul to learn. On one of the tables, I caught sight of a sefer Zer Shimshon. At the end of the latest edition, there was a section with stories about things that happened to people who learned the sefer. I read the stories with fascination, impressed by the diversity of people's personal testimonies and Yeshua's. There were health-related stories and stories about Parnasa, but the majority of the stories revolved around families davening to be blessed with children. On the spot, I decided that I too would join the ranks of the thousands who already were part of the Zera Shimshon movement and would begin learning the Sefer every Shabbos morning before davening for 1 year's time. I began my Seder that Shabbos, and therefore, before I started learning, I said, I am learning the Ilui Nishmas HaMechaber of the Sefer Rabbeinu Shimshon Chaim ben Rav Nachman Michael. May it be your will, Rabbeinu Shalom, that the words that he wrote in the introduction to his Sefer come true. In the 3 categories he mentioned before, children, health, and Parnasa, Chaim, right? Parnasa. And Ben Yamin, his relative said, his voice filled with emotion, I want you to know that my daughter was born today, on the 8th day of Tammuz, exactly 1 year from the moment I first came across the Sefer and decided to learn it seriously. Rabbi Yomin was, of course, extremely touched by the story, as well as I am, but his relative wasn't finished yet. I want to tell you one more thing. He said, during the months leading up to the birth, we went to the doctor for an examination, and he told us that it looked as though there were some serious complications with the baby. The moment I heard the doctor's words, I was mikabel on myself to donate money toward the publication of the Zera Shimshon. We returned to the doctor a week later. He examined my wife again, and this time his face was first puzzled and then filled with relief. Good news, he said. The problem I was worried about the last time seems to have completely disappeared without a trace. Everything is fine. Surprise, doctor. Rabbi Yamin, he concluded joyfully, Baruch Hashem, the baby was born today and is completely healthy 1 year to that day. Have a good Shabbos, and a full shlema to everybody that needs it.